Facebook, YouTube, the day of Satil the Archangel. God is our prayer. No, not Thor. He's a false god. Quit acknowledging false gods on God's days. All right, topic of the message. Travailing. Now it's been this is the third day of the woman in the heavens. The third day. So that will be quite interesting concerning whatever will take place, that God uses threes as his dynamic structure of accomplishing his divine plans. Of course, Jesus Christ was born on the third day. Okay, third day, the whatever is giving birth concerning God's divine plan might come on the third day of the woman in the heavens, and not Virgo. All right. Well, but the topic of the message. Oh man, so many messages hit my head. Oh, it's just so interesting how many messages hit my head yesterday. But I want to talk about, I want to mainly talk about this. The topic of the message is the reality of, the Christian walk is just one ultimate goal that we are supposed to try to accomplish. One ultimate goal. And that's keeping God in the number one spot. Keeping God in the number one spot. Yes, that's the topic of the message. Yes, that's what the ultimate goal of us, if we're going to truly be who we are, we have to keep God in the number one spot. Now understand this. Guess what? We can demote God, especially we can demote God easily with our words and with our actions. And mainly with our actions. You know what I'm saying? We can, concerning our actions and what we do concerning that is wrong. We can demote God, and with our lips we can demote God. Like you know that when you speak fear, you know what I'm saying, more than faith, it's an idea that you're putting fear above faith, and faith is of God. So you demote God by that idea. You know what I'm saying? That people don't realize. When it comes to love, when you show love, you put God in the number one spot. But lust will demote God from the number one spot. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. Joy, if you got joy, when you show forth, your actions of the joy of the Lord is your strength. You know what I'm saying? You putting God in the number one spot. But if you got sorrow, you bitter, you mad about something, you angry, frustration, you're demoting God on the number one spot. And people don't realize that this is going on in how they live their lives. We want to say, I got God number one. I keep God first in my life. Well, you're going to have to keep his fruit first. You know what I'm saying? The first fruits first. If God is first in our life, and when the fruit of the Spirit is first, that is a reaction of how you live. You know what I'm saying? What you say, what you do, you know what I'm saying, is what shows how much Christ is first, or Jesus Christ, because only through Jesus Christ we can put God first. We cannot put God first in the basis of the lust of the flesh. No way, Jose. We can only put God first in our spirit. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, here's the thing that we need to understand about this number one spot. Now, I'm gonna, the idea. I love boxing. I love boxing, but boxing got crazy, and it's not legitimate to me. But they have a champion, and they have a number one, number two, ranked number one, ranked number two, ranked number three. And the thing is, what we don't realize in our life and how we live our lives, you know what I'm saying, we going to rank something high, you know, in our lives. In number 2 spot. And something going to be at the number 2 spot and something going to be at number 3 spot. And what we don't realize in our everyday life, in how we perform, and how we treat people, we determine what's number 1 and what's number 2 and what's number 3. Concerning, like, of course, a love's supposed to be number 1. You know what I'm saying? What's supposed to be number 2? Whatever consists of love. You know what I'm saying? Of caring about people, how you help people, now number 3 is supposed to be you, because, the idea what Jesus said is to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, and all thy mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. See, it's supposed to be more about God and your neighbor and then yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's how, if you have matured in this love, that's supposed to be the result of your performance and how you treat, God, and treat people and treat you. That's how it goes. But guess what? Now watch this. As I'm talking about boxing, Satan can challenge that. Yes, Satan will challenge, you concerning that number 1 spot. Or more likely, if you have a title, Satan, will, want a shot at the title. Satan wants a shot at that. And he's going to use every aspect, of lust to get you to try to knock out your love. Yeah, he's trying to beat and defeat the love that is the love of God that is inside of you. Now, the idea of which team is going to win is how much you pretty much, like I did the message the other day, influence. How much influence the spirit our spirit receives, how much influence the flesh will receive. You know what I'm saying? It's going to determine it. Because influence gonna fuel either the love or the lust. You know what I'm saying? It's going to fuel them reasons to perform these acts, reasons to say something, and reason to do something. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, how you want to keep God number 1, because God is love. It says in John, 1 John, that God is love. So you want to keep love at the number 1 spot. But guess what? Satan is going to bring his lust to challenge your love every day. You know what I'm saying? Each and every day, by situations and circumstances that happen around you. He's going to find a way to challenge your love, because you want to put God, love is God, at the number 1 spot. You know what I'm saying? He's going to challenge that love. And he's going to challenge your joy. He's going to put some situations that, going to make you, sorrow. They're going to bring sorrow to you, because, that's what he's trying to get joy knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Trying to knock joy out. He's going to challenge your peace. Oh, people know that. Oh, Satan is going to challenge your peace. He's going to challenge your peace, wherever you go. School, work, the driving the car, everywhere. He's going to challenge your peace. He's not going to keep these love, joy, peace at the number 1 spot. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to try to do that. You know what I'm saying? He's going to do whatever he can to demote them. Now watch this. Based upon your actions, based upon what you say and you do, we going to find out if God's love is number 1, based upon your word and actions. We're going to find out, your joy is, I guess, number 2. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to find out your peace is number 3. Because God taught me about love, joy, peace. One time I did a message on love, joy, peace. And let me see how much time I got. I could teach it real quick. God taught me about the love, joy, peace is the idea of a light. How light, a light force is ran. Now, do it quickly. A lamp. You take a lamp. Love is the lamp. You know what I'm saying? It's the lamp, and it's the lamp structure. Love is the structure. Now, joy is the energy. Of course, the joy of the Lord is our strength. It's the energy that flows to the lamp. Now, peace is the how the energy flows, how the energy facilitates itself within the lamp. It all works together. Love, joy, peace, it all works together as a flowing force. It's a flowing force. As you can see, light has a flowing force. And the cool thing about it that, God taught me about, like when you see a light bulb, you don't see like so much energy flowing through it. And you see as much energy needed to facilitate itself, the energy to facilitate itself, that it can continue shining its light. Is what we need to understand about love, joy, and peace. That is important that these three are the first things that Paul listed as the fruit of the Spirit that will facilitate that. And in that facilitation, it will produce the other, fruits of the Spirit. But, let me get back to the message. But to keep God on the number one spot is to keep love in the number one spot, and to keep joy at the number two spot, and keep three. And the key thing was you keep in this order. This order is the idea of the roles, like I showed you about the lamp, the roles that they play. Joy plays a role of strengthening. Peace plays a role of the facilitation of the flow of our lives. You know what I'm saying? That it's not chaotic. The energy is not chaotically going through because if too much energy is flowing through the light bulb, everything busts. You know what I'm saying? Bust the light bulb, blow lamp. You know what I'm saying? But peace is that facilitator that gives forth the proper amount of energy that's needed. You know what I'm saying? Joy, like I said, keeps the energy, is the energy that goes in there. But love is the light that shines and keeps everything. It's the whole thing that makes sense. That is the number one thing. And it's the lamp, actually. You know what I'm saying? And and that's what God is, love. And in order for us to facilitate this love towards people, we must understand that, we have an opposition. You know what I'm saying? Lust is the opposition. I was talking to my friend yesterday, shout out Dex, that I was reminding him that God taught me about that. He taught me through Batman, the animated series, that, watching how Batman take on his bad guys and how Batman respect his bad guys that know that they're capable of doing, capable of doing great things, that he prepare himself properly to the darkness, more likely, that come against him. He's more prepared than they are. And his preparation in stopping them makes him more consistent enough to be a hero to help people do that. And that we need to understand that our opposition, lust and sorrow and violence, is going to come to give us a reason to attack us, to get God at that number one spot. They're going to contend and fight each and every day, but we can win the good fight of faith. We can, fight our faith versus fear. It's going to happen. Satan's going to attack that faith. You know what I'm saying? That fear. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to understand. That I love that 1 John, the whole book, really shows forth the aspects of that idea of what we need to see our opponent accordingly, that we can have a better way of being about facing our opponent. That, you know what I'm saying, and understanding that we have to keep God as the number one priority, and his love a priority, and his joy and his peace, that we can continually have victory against the enemy of darkness. You know what I'm saying? And not the enemy of people, but the enemy of darkness within inside people, that we learn to overcome the kingdom of darkness, that we will shine forth the light, and so let our light shine through all men, Matthew 5:16, and really represent Jesus Christ the King. That rhyme, I had to do it like that. All right. That's the message. God be the glory here and forever and ever in Jesus' name. Amen.